Hi, everybody. I'm back with another installment of Jewelry with Jen. And this time I wanted to do something special because I wanted to celebrate Native American Heritage Month. And I'm here for the DeKalb County Library. So I forgot to say that last time. Anyway, so I wanted to do something for Native American Heritage Month. I really love doing these things because the patterning is so beautiful. And that's basically what this is all about. This is something I've been wanting to do for a while, but it does take a little bit of time. It's not hard. It just takes some time. So this is what we're going to be doing. We're going to be making this lovely cuff bracelet. And if you look really closely, you can see what the components are and see that it's really quite easy to do. It's more of deciding what your pattern is going to be in the center, putting it all together, and then and finishing the product. So basically what you have here is eye pins that you're going to add beads to, like this. And then you're just going to put all of the beads on the wire. And we're going to use memory wire. We're using memory wire for the band of the bracelet, the top and the bottom. And then we're going to use eye pins to put the pattern together as the component for the pattern. And it's all, I'm making it up with seed beads so that I can get this patterning in there really nicely. I'm using size 4 seed beads, not those teeny, tiny ones, because oh my Lord. So anyway, I'm using size 4 or size 6/0 seed beads, which are approximately 4 millimeter. And then we're going to make our own eye pins. So we're going to use 20 gauge wire to make the eye pins. Then that way you can make them the size that you want. And that's it. Eye pins, memory wire, beads. We're going to make a clasp. You really don't need a clasp, but if you want something a little secure to secure it, we're going to make a really, really simple clasp that I found on Lan on YouTube, which is awesome because it really accommodates a wide cuff like this instead of something that's all scrunched down and tiny. So that's what we're going to do today. We're going to make this, and I'm going to repeat this pattern. This is what I call the sunrise, but we're going to do just the opposite. We're going to make it sunset. So instead of going dark to light, I started with blue, and then let me see what do I have. Blue, red, orange, yellow, white, and white in the center. We're going to go the opposite. And in this case, it's going to be, I'm using, instead of brown, I don't know if you can tell that center color, yeah, maybe you can tell. It's a kind of a purplish, really dark purple. Kind of like a kumquat. Well, actually like the color of my sweater over here. Actually, it's like the color of my sweater. It's the exact same color as my sweater. And so I'm starting on the outside. Instead of going light to dark, I'm going yellow, taupe, orange, red, and what I'm calling kumquat purple. Yellow, beige, orange, red, and purple are going to be my colors. And then we're going to use the same colors around the top here and the bottom to finish off the band. So let's get started. I've already started some of it because we don't need to be here all the live long day. But let's get with this. Get you down here to the right camera. Okay, so what you can see that I've already started the pattern. I have half it on here. These are the ones that are going to go around the outside of this, and I think I'm using more instead of spacing this out as much as I have this spaced. I'm going to close it in a little bit more. So, and I'm going to use the taupe for that. So what I've done is cut 2 pieces of memory wire, just 2 loops. Just 2 single loops of memory wire. And I've overlapped it a little bit because once you put it on your arm, And once you add beads, it will open up a little bit. So I have a little bit of an opening in here. And again, you do not have to put a clasp on here. I have another one, a smaller one that I did. No clasp, perfectly secure. Doesn't go anywhere. It's just perfect. And this is just a little one. So it's your decision to make whether or not you want a cuff. But this is the pattern that I'm going to use for this one. I used two patterns on this one. I did sunrise in the center, and then I did sunset on the sides. Isn't that awesome? Yay, cute. Anyway, one of these days maybe we'll do that one, but not today. So anyway, so I got my 2 rings of memory wire. I have what we need is for the spacing that I wanted it to be a nice cuff. So I've done 2 inches of eye pin, 2 inches of 20 gauge wire to do my little bars that we're going to do. By the time we make the loops, it'll actually be down to about 1.5 inches of spread on my bracelet. So I've cut my 2 inches of wire, 20 gauge wire for my pins. And I have my tools, my round nose pliers, square pliers, and my cutters. Those are my normal things that I need today. Those are the things that you usually need for anything that you make, as when it pertains to wire. So I also have a collection of beads here that I'm going to use. Again, I'm going to use the purple, red, orange, taupe, and yellow to make my patterns. I've done half of it, and now I'm going to show you how to do the other half. So I'm going to take one of my pins. I'm just going to make a loop. First, I'm going to put my glasses on so I can see what I'm doing. Okay, so what I'm going to do is just make a loop on the end of my wire, and I'm going to go about 1/3 of the way down. It does not have to be a big loop, because basically all you need to do is string it over your wire like that. So it doesn't have to be a huge loop. So I'm just going to go down about just about 3/8 of an inch from the tip of my pliers. And I know that all pliers are not created equal. They all don't have the same distance, but just know that you only need a small loop in order to fit over your wire. So what I like to do, this is my own little hack, is just make a little bend in my wire before I start my loop. And that way, when I slide it down, I have something for it to grip. I have something to hang on to, so it's not hard to grip. So I've got my little bend in there, and I'm going to make my loop. Just going to rotate until I have a complete loop. Nice closed loop. Here's my loop. And if you want, you can rotate it back to get the loop straight up. But again, it's not necessary. You don't have to, because it's going to be nicely ensconced in between the beads. So you're not going to see it anyway. It just depends on what you want to do. So I've got my loop, and I'm going to start with my patterning. Now I've got the center one already done, and I'm going to repeat on this side the same thing that I did on this side. So for what I'm doing here, and I'm going to show you on this bracelet, for the sunrise pattern that I did, I start with 1 bead in the center. It's got 9 beads all together. 1 bead in the center, one color, and then 2 beside it, on either side of it, another color, and then 2 beside that, another color, et cetera, et cetera. In the case of sunrise, it starts in the very center, the lightest bead, and goes out to the darker beads on the way out, and that creates the sunrise pattern. So I have white, then yellow on either side, and then orange on either side of the yellow, red on either side of the orange, and then blue on either side of the red. And that was my pattern for this one. And then you just, for the next one over, you leave the yellow out. You leave the white out, the center, because you only have one center. And then you go to the next color and make that the center, in this case, yellow, and then orange, then red and blue. And then you move to the next one, take that, the center out, the center color out that was on the one before it, and make the next color in line the center, and the same with the other one. So I have white as the center on the center one, yellow, and then orange, and then red. So I'm doing the exact reverse on this one. I have the kumquat color in the center, then red on each side, then orange, then taupe, then yellow. The next one over, I take the kumquat color out, boo-hoo, because I love that color. But we take that out and go to the next color in line, which in this case is red. But I need to go to the end. So the last color that I need is white, because that's going to be the very last color that I have. So let's see. So I have white. And then my yellow, taupe. And please know that you don't have to do this. This is not necessarily the pattern that you need to do. You can do any pattern that you want. It's entirely up to you. I just love this pattern, so I use it over and over again. And then orange, red, and then back to orange, taupe, we're going back the other way. Yellow, and white. Now, remember, seed beads are not all the same size. They are not created equal. So I'm going to look at this and see that it's not the same size as my other one. So I'm going to change out one of these for a bigger taupe bead. And let's see if that's big enough now. Yeah, because I want it to be as close to the same length as possible. And that's pretty good. Yeah, that's good. So that's going to be the next one over. And what I need to do is close off my loop. And all I need is about 3/8 of an inch here. So I'm going to clip it down a little bit. I can tell I don't need quite that much. So I'm going to clip a little bit of that off. Make a loop. Now, when I make my loop, I want the loop to be going in the same direction as this one. So this one's going that way. I want this one to go the same direction. I'm going to check. My opening is over here facing me. So I'm going to make the opening for this side face me as well. Make my little bend, slide it down to where I want it to go, and make my loop. There we go. Bend that back so it's straight up and down, just because I'm so used to doing it that way. And then I'm going to check. And if they're not exactly lined up, see how this one is flat and this one's going off a little bit? I just hold one with my fingers and the other with pliers, and then I twist it until they're both going the same direction. There we go. And that is going to be my next row. And then the one after that is going to eliminate the red. So grab that, make my loop, loop, loop it, close it up. There we go. Straighten out my loop. Let's get my beads. Again, no red on this one. So instead of one white, I have two whites because the extra white one is going to make up for the red that I don't have. So I have two white ones on each end instead of a red one. Okay, so there's my 2 white ones. A yellow one is next. Taupe. Orange. Back to taupe. Where am I? Taupe. Yellow and 2 white ones. Yellow and white. Here we go. Now I'm going to check, make sure I have what I need here. 2 white ones, yellow, taupe, orange, taupe, yellow, 2 white ones. Check my length. Looks pretty good. Make my loop. And I'm probably always going to have a little bit of extra because it just needs to be a little bit smaller, but it's better to have a little more than you need and just cut off that fraction of an inch than not have enough. That's heartbreaking. So where's my opening? It's on this side. Let me flip it around so I can make my loop going that way. So my opening's over here. So I want my other opening to go over there. So I'm going to make my loop going that way. Let's rotate until it's closed. There we go. And there's my next one. Yay. Start to see the pattern forming. Okay, now this next one is going to eliminate, where are we? I think we're eliminating the orange. Whichever one is in the center is always eliminated on the next pin. So let's make my loop. And this time we have 3 white ones. 1, 2, and 3. Okay, 1 yellow. Taupe. Another yellow. Fewer colors now. And 3 white ones. 1, 2, and 3. Ooh, that looks really short. See, these little white ones are teeny tiny, so I might have to switch some of those out. Get some longer ones in there. Bag up, get some more. Okay, so let's switch out some of these really thin ones. 1, 2. And let's slide those back on. And now let's check. It's good. Very good. Okay. And let's make my loop. Cut off the excess. Down to my little 3/8. Yeah, there we go. Check my opening. It's on this side. Why does it always end up on the side facing me? Let's turn it the other way because I rotate away from me. And let's make my loop. There we go. Very nice. And ba-boom. Oof, I think we have what, 1 more? Yes, all white and 1 yellow in the center. So let's make the loop. Can you see that? Oh, doesn't that look great? Okay. Make my loop. Very pretty. Okay, so I need 4 white ones. 1, 2, 3, and 4. one yellow one. Okay. And 4 more white ones. Now, look at this. Look at this really long white one. Can you see that? See how long that is compared to the others? So I'm going to use that for 2. Instead of putting 2 on, I'm just going to put this one long one on. And if you look real closely, you'll see where I did that in here somewhere. Here. This really long orange one. I just made that 2 beads. Or 3, I think, because that one's really long. Oh my gosh, look how long that is. That's crazy. So anyway, that's going to take the place of 2 white ones, and then we just need 2 more. 1 and 2. Check my length. Very good. Nice. Clip off my little tip that I don't need. A little less space in there. There we go. Cut. Where's my loop? Where's my opening? Yeah, there we go. Make my loop. Yeah. And there is my sunset. Yahoo! And these are going to go on the other side. That's going to be awesome. Neat, huh? Okay, let's get to it. So this is the fun part, is getting these things on. So I'm going to start in the center because it's much easier than starting at the end. So I'm going to put this over one of these, the tip, and then the other one on the other side, and let them drop down to the center. So there's my center right down there. And then I'm going to put a bead on. And what I decided to do was do a pattern up here that's similar to, do I want to go the opposite direction and make sunrise? So that would be sunset, and this would be sunrise. Why the heck not? I don't see why I shouldn't do that. I think that would be quite pretty. And that way it'll give me a chance to use more of these kumquat colored beads. Yay. Okay, so that's what we're gonna do. So the center of my sunrise would be, in this case, what, yellow? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, yes, would be yellow. So I'm gonna get 2 yellow beads and put one on each side. Ouch, ouch, ouch. Stop sticking me. There we go. So that's going to be the center. And that's going to work, I think. Yeah, so that's going to be the center. I'm going to do the same thing on the other ring. 2 yellow beads. Probably doesn't make a lot of sense right now, but you'll see when the pattern starts to form. Another yellow bead. And there's my center. And then outside of that is going to be the taupe. So my next one is going to be the one to the right, the ones to the right and the left of the center. Okay, so my next pin on. Okay, and then go to the other side, put the next pin on, the opposite side. And let it drop down. So this is what we have so far. Okay, And now I'm going to put my next beads that are going to be on the frame, and that's going to be my next darkest color, my next dark color. The second to the lightest, which is taupe in this case. I didn't really go to the same colors that I used for the other one just because I wanted to be different. So I have 2 of the taupe on one side, and I'm going to put 2 on the other side. Oh, this is much easier. Just let it drop down like that. Okay, and then I'm going to put 2 taupe on this one. And 2 on this one. Okay. Oh, you know what? For this part, I think I just need 1 bead. Yes, I need 1 of each. I'm going to switch to 2 when we get further down the frame. So for the centerpiece, we just need 1 bead in between each of the frame pieces. Okay, so I have 1 yellow on either side of the center, and then 1 taupe on to the left and right of the next pin, and then my next pin is going to be the one with the orange center. Yeah, this is much easier to do it this way. Okay, on the other side, orange center, slide that on. Get on there. It doesn't want to go. Stop giving me a hard time. There we go. And there's, oh, look at that. Look at that. Isn't that neat? Okay, and then put another bead on. In this case, it's going to be another taupe on either side, each side, I guess I should say. Okay, then on the other ring, same thing, taupe. And another taupe. And let's go to the next pin, which is the one with the taupe center. All right. This one. And the other. Come on. Stop flipping around. Okay, and on the other side, the other taupe center. Slide that on. Get back on there. Okay, and then my next bead is going to be, okay, so I have 2 taupe ones here. So then I'm going to go with, what's next? Orange? Yes. So 3 orange ones, 1 yellow on either side, and then 2 taupe ones on either side. And now we have 3 orange ones. 1, 2, 3. Oh, I have to put my other pin in first. 1, 1, 1, and 1 of my oranges. and then put my last pin of my pattern on with the yellow center on one side, the other side, the other pin, one side, and the other side. Drop to the bottom, and would you look at that? Isn't that lovely? Yes, it is. I need some more beige beads, some more orange beads, and I'm gonna need some more yellow beads at some point. Yellow ones, some more orange ones. Out here. Okay, now put my other orange ones on. Now from here on out, I'm going to put one orange on this side. And from now on, I'm going to go every two. I'm going to put one of these beige ones on, one of these taupe colored ones. So I need 2 orange beads. This is just my pattern, by the way. This does not have to be your pattern. This is what I'm doing. So I'm going to put 2 orange beads on one side, 2 on the other side, and then 2 on the opposite ring. And on the other side. Yeah, I can't stress that enough. You do not have to copy me. Not by any means. As a matter of fact, I kind of hope you won't so that I can see something different. And now that I've got those on, I'm ready to start putting my outside pieces on. So I'm going to put 1 taupe on one side, 1 taupe on the other side. Okay, then I'm going to put 4 of these kumquat colored ones on each side. So I've got 1 and 1, 2 and 2, 3 and 3. And now I'm going to do 4 and 4. And after every second one, I'm going to put another taupe pin on. 1, 2. You're probably going, what the heck is she talking about? You will see. You shall see. 1, 2. Let me get some more of these and run out. Not allowed to run out. Okay. One more. So I got 2, and then 2 over here. Get over here. Okay. And then I'm going to put another taupe. Bar on. And once it gets to this point, it's starting to stand up, so it's a little easier to work with. So bar on. Okay, 2 more of my little kumquats. Two and 2. 2 on the other side. Man, it's awfully quiet in here. I have no one to talk to. Okay, Two on the other side, and another one of my bars. Kaboom. Oops. Is it closed? Yeah, it just keeps jumping off. There we go. And the other side. Kaboom. So there is my basic pattern that I have going here. I've got my sunset in the center down the main frame, and then I have my sunrise around the center of the frame of the bracelet. So now it's just a matter of finishing it off. I'm going to go the rest of the way around. I can put any colors I want. Like I did with this one, I just did all different colors. I just alternated colors, but I'm going to stay with the same colors that I have and just fill it in with what I want. And I think I'm going to go back and start with the yellow again. So 2 of the yellow, 2 of the yellow, and one of the little bars. Okay, 2 yellow. 2 yellow on the other side. And my pen. And I think I'm going to go with 2 yellow on the other side again. I'm just going to continue the pattern. I think. Now, I think I'm going to go to the next one, which is the taupe. 2 taupe. Taupe. Go to the other side, same thing, 2 taupe. 2 taupe. And pen. That's kind of awesome. Okay, now I'm going to continue this off camera because you get the gist. I just need to put the rest of my bars on and the rest of my beads. And what I think I'm going to do at this point, I have a bunch more bars made, but I don't think I need them all. But I'm going to go ahead and finish putting the pins around the outside, and I will be back in a moment so that I can show you how to do the clasp if we need one. Okay, be back in a jiff. Okay, we're back and I have the bracelet all put together for the most part. I'm going to show you the end of it. There's the little pattern that we have. And I'm going to show you the remainder. So there we have that. Let's see that there. And so now what we're going to do is finish it off. I did one side, put the rings in, And now I put these little earring stoppers on there, these little earring backs on there to finish it off. So what I did at the very end is just finish it off with some, just some beads, so that I have my extension to close it. So one side I've already done. I've got my beads on there. I put my rings in, and I'm going to show you how my loops in, and I'm going to show you how that works. Now you want to probably leave a little bit of space so that they're not all crammed up together. They don't have to be crammed up together. So it doesn't have to be completely tight. You want to give it a little bit of wiggle room in there. So I'm going to cut some of this off. It doesn't have to be much. You know what? I think I've been cutting this with my regular pliers, probably ruining them, instead of my memory wire pliers that I don't see. Where are they? Ugh. Well, I'll just have to use the regular ones this time. I don't see my memory wire pliers. Where are they? Here they are. Okay. So I'm just going to clip off a little bit down to about 1/2 inch. Give myself a little bit of wiggle room in there. Get that off. And then I'm going to make my loop. Now, because I'm going to show you how to do a clasp like this, I want my loops to be going towards the inside of my bracelet instead of going underneath, which means you're going to be looping away from the curve, because this curve goes down and we're going to be looping to the side. So you're going to have to really use some elbow grease to do that, but it is doable. So I'm going to go ahead and make my little bend that I like to have, so I have something to grip, especially with me trying to make this loop in another direction. So now I'm going to make my loop. Just rotate till I have a nice closed loop. There we go. And then go to the other side and fill in those rings, those beads. And what I did was put 2 on, 2 red ones, and 5 white ones. So 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Okay, clip off a little bit of the tip here down to about 1/2 inch. Okay, and make a loop to the inside again. I think I'm going to flip it around. I think you can see that better. So I'm going to make a loop to the inside. When I say inside, I mean it should be going side to side. Left to right, not top to bottom. So I'm going to make my little curve, slide it down to where I want my loop, and rotate. I have a nice closed loop there. There we go. And there it is. There's my finished bracelet. You can go in and make any adjustments that you want while it's not completely solidified or hardened. But there is my bracelet. And you can see you really don't need a clasp. But if you want one, we're going to make it. Let's do it. Okay, so what we're going to need is 2 pieces of wire. And I'm going to use 20 gauge. You can use 18 gauge. The 20 is fine. Just want it long enough so that it will close. So what I'm going to do is get 2 inches of wire, and I'm going to make this clasp. So I'm going to make a nice hook, and this is going to be a half loop. So I'm going to get 2 inches of wire for my loop portion. And about 2.5 inches of wire for my hook portion. Okay, now for my little U shape that I'm using for the loop, or for the receiver, I guess I could call it. I just take my wire and I bend it into a U shape. And you can use pliers to do this. You can do a free form, whichever way works for you. But we just want it into a nice little U, like so. So it looks like that when you're finished. See if that's visible. Yeah, there we go. This little guy. So make my little U shape. I can see one side is a little longer than the other, so I'm going to adjust it with the pliers, push down the other side so that they're the same distance. That. Then I'm going to make my loop, and my loops are going to go down. So I'm going to grab the end, make a little hook, and then make my loop. And then make my other loop. Sure, close that up. Okay, so there's my receiver. And that might be a little long, but I noticed that I have a great expanse in here, so I want to make sure it's long enough to receive. Yeah, might end up making it shorter, but we'll leave it there for now. There's the one side, and then the other side. Again, I'm going to bend it into a U shape. Bring the ends together. And this time I'm going to cross them over a little bit just so I can hold on to them. And then I'm going to squeeze this end until the sides are together. So I'm just squeezing it. And you can use your pliers for this too. You don't have to do it with your fingers. If your hands aren't that strong, or if you're using a thicker wire than I am, I'm using 20 gauge, so it's pretty easy to manipulate. But if you need to, you can use your pliers. Oops. Just squeeze them. Just be very careful and patient, and don't squeeze too hard, because you don't want them to cross over on top of each other. You want to keep them side by side. So here we go, squeezing those together until you get them nice and close. There we go. So now they're side by side, but not on top of each other. If you can see that, they're so close together, I don't know if it's visible. So there we are. They're nice and side by side. There we go. That, yeah. Okay, so now what we're going to do is make our hook. The first thing I want to do is just take the tip and give it a little just kind of crimp it up a little bit, just like that. Just give it a little bit of a turn. And now I'm going to take my pliers and go down about a third of the way on my wire and go down about a third of the way on my pliers. And I'm going to just flip this. I'm going to rotate it around away from my crimp until I have a little hook. It doesn't have to be huge. It might be a little bit bigger than that. Let me make that a little bit bigger. And if you need to adjust it, you can. You can take a look at it, decide whether it's big enough or not. I think it could be a little longer. So I'm going to make an adjustment. Straighten that out and make it a little bigger. Fix that little bend I have in there. Get rid of that. Get my crimp in place. Get that crimped. And there we go. Now I'm going to bend it in a little bit more because I want it to be a shepherd's hook. So now I want to check this. I don't want it to be too open. And this I'm going to have to adjust because it's a little bit mangled because I did it wrong at first. There we go. And what I'm going to do is close this up a little bit more. Check it again because I don't want this to be able to slide out so easily. I like to put my pliers in there and then push it down. Squeeze it down with my fingers. Check it again. There we go. Snap into place and it won't come off. Oop, it did come off, didn't it? There we go. Now it won't come off. And then it snaps back out and it's secure. So there we've got that. Next thing I want to do is make my loops that are going to hook into the bracelet. So I'm going to separate the sides, these two sides. I want to pull them apart. You can do it with your pliers or you can do it with your fingers. I just want to bend it out a little bit, like so, until it's angled out, because that needs to fit on my bracelet like this. My bracelet's going to come in a little bit, just like this one does. It's going to come in a little, and this is going to attach to it. Okay, so I've got that turned out. Now I want to make a loop on each one of the ends. The loop should be going up towards the little open part of my hook. So I'm going to make a loop. Just a small bend in my tip, go down and make my loop going towards the open part of my hook. Make sure it's closed and then do the same thing with the other side. Just make a nice loop. Okay, check it out, make sure everything's going the direction I want, which in this case, the loops are going up, the hook is going down. Okay, that's going to hook on one side of my bracelet. Let's just open that up. Slide one side on one end, close my loop back up. The other one on the other side. Open. Hook that on. Close it up. Make sure it's nicely closed. And there's my hook. Let's make some adjustments here. And I'm going to open that up just a little more so that it has a little more movement. So I'm going to spread those a little more. So now I can move it a little bit. It's like a little latch. Now this one, I don't think I need to make it as long. Yay. So what I'm going to do is try this on first, because when it goes on my arm, it opens up a little more. So maybe I do need it. Yes, I do. I do need it that long. So now let's just put it on my bracelet. One side in. Close it up. The other side. Close it up. Just make sure it's completely closed. And there we have it. There we have it. Here's my bracelet. Now it looks like it's loose now, but when I put it on, it'll be fine. There it is. All finished. Let's try it on, shall we? It's always fun trying to put something on camera and it works smoothly. So there's my hook. It's kind of awesome. And there's my bracelet. And of course it unhooked because I was trying to flip it around. Let's put that back on. There we go. There's my hook. There's my bracelet. Oh my goodness. I love it. I love it. I love it. I love it. So that takes care of that. I sure hope this didn't take too long. But it was worth it. It was worth it. It was worth it. I love this. So now I have two of them. I have one that is a sunset. It's going from dark to light. And I have this one. There's a lot of glare. My goodness. Move that. Okay. There we go. Oh, I love this. I really do love this a lot. Oh, wow. Anyway, enough of me admiring my jewelry. That's it. Oh, I just love it. It's so pretty. Anyway, that's it for today. I hope it didn't take much over an hour. I have a bad feeling that it is over an hour, but I hope it doesn't scare you away. I hope you will give it a try. As you can see, it's really not hard. The biggest thing is getting your pattern down, deciding what design you want in the center, or even if you want to design all the way across, just putting the pieces together. It's like put pieces of the puzzle, get all the components together, link them all up, sliding beads on, sliding eye hooks on, or eye pins on. So easy. Takes a little time, but it's not hard. Anybody can do this, absolutely anybody. So give it a try and you can come out with something absolutely delectable and lovely. I keep looking at it, sorry. And I hope you love it as much as I do. And I hope you like this video. I hope it made a lot of sense. And I hope that you will enjoy the month and that you will celebrate Native American History Month like I will. And we will see you next time. I don't know what I have planned. I have so many things in mind to do that it's almost sometimes hard to choose something, but I hope you like everything I choose because I have a lot of fun doing it, as you can probably see. So enjoy your weekend, enjoy your week, and we will see you again next week. Bye-bye.